John, your song said, oh, I said to him, look, he doesn't want to talk to me, he'd rather sing. The nation would rather have you sing. That right? Yeah! Well, I better say a few words to you.
You better.
Yeah. You've been to Poland?
Just got in
You're
from Poland.
on your way to the Peterborough Country Music Festival?
Right. Next weekend.
Yeah. How are the Poles?
Oh, they were wonderful to us.
Do they know country music?
Yeah, we went to Warsaw, and then they took us by military plane to Gdansk. And near Gdansk is where they have the Polish Folk Festival. That's what we were performing, but it was our show last night.
And they went
or night before last, rather.
Yeah. So you must be a bit jet-lagged after all that.
Yeah, but you know, I'm just glad it's happening to somebody that can handle it.
Yeah. Did you get that? Johnny can handle anything. You remember the words of the song, John? If you want to save your soul from hell, then cowboy, change your ways.
Yeah, that's from Ghost Riders in the Sky.
You got it. And you did it. You've changed your ways totally. The man in black is now the man in white.
Well, The Man in White is the title of a book that I wrote, not about me, but about the conversion of the Apostle Paul. It's a historical novel.
On the road to Damascus.
Mm-hmm. That's what the book is about. It's more about the persecutor before his conversion and how he went about it, and the Roman times, and the history of the culture of the people in those areas that I write about in Judea and what is now Turkey and Rome. I had to do a lot of studying. It took a long time. It took 9 years to write this novel.
9 years. But just as Paul was converted on the road to Damascus, so were you converted. What was your Damascus?
Yeah, but his happened just like that. It's taken me many mountains and valleys to come thus far, and I'm still trying. I'm still clawing at the ground trying to climb.
You're tough?
Yeah, I'm
being
tough.
Good?
Yeah, I'm tough and I'm being good.
Yeah, because you were the greatest hellraiser of all, 7 times in jail.
I heard about
Drugs,
that.
booze, wild and wicked women.
Wild and wicked women? Yeah, I heard about that.
What's best, Johnny, good or bad?
Life has been beautiful.
Really? Why are people like me attracted to the bad, the hellraisers?
Makes good copy, I guess.
Is that what it is? But is life now much more meaningful and better for you?
Yeah, the last 3.5 years without the drug of my choice, as we say in the program, have been the most beautiful 3.5 years of my life. I enjoy performing. I came alive again, you know, when I got over my pill addiction problem. And I'm exploring all kinds of new worlds, like the new record company. We got great plans for different kinds of records. There's 2 movies in the works, and an Australian tour coming up, and I'm looking forward to all this. I love to do what I do.
That's great. Listen, what about Elvis? Because you and he ran parallel. Your first public concert was with Elvis, wasn't it? In the 50s.
Right.
Could he have been saved by a Damascus?
Well, I don't know anything about Elvis's religion. You see, I worked with Elvis in 55 and 56, but then I took my own show on the road. And then Elvis went into the Army not long after that, and I didn't see him but one time since 1960. So I don't know about Elvis and his religion.
Yeah. So you didn't get any sense that he also was hooked on the little colored pill?
I'll tell you one thing I know, that his first love was gospel music. Because there was a time at Sun Records in Memphis that Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Roy Orbison and I and Elvis were there. It was a Carl Perkins session, but the session stopped, and we all got together and sang together. And of the 24 or 25 songs that we sang that day, I'd say 18 of them were gospel. Yeah. And Elvis played the piano at the beginning and started off all the gospel songs that we would sing together. But then Jerry Lee Lewis walks in and asked to sit at the piano. And after that, nobody sits at the piano. Not after Jerry Lee.
But you were raised a strict Baptist as a child, weren't you? Didn't stop you, my dear, raising that little hell.
Well, Roy Orbison's got a line in a song that says, "A diamond is a diamond and a stone is a stone, but man is part good and part bad," and that's me. may have a little bit of good, but it got a lot of bad in me.
But the good's coming, shining through. I'm sure it is.
Thank you.
And here's, we have a friend of yours who's also raised a little hell in his
My
day.
brother.
Your brother, Kris
brother.
Kristofferson. Now, Johnny, I believe you're going to sing for us with Kris.
We're going to take a shot at it.
Marvellous. I'm delighted to say they've chosen a great number called The Highwayman. Ladies and gentlemen, Kris Kristofferson with Johnny Cash. What a little genius you are, both of you. Of course, you didn't write that, did you?
No, you could
Everything
tell,
else,
couldn't you?
I could tell, yes. What is
John
it-
sings that song every night. I've never sung it, so it's,
You made a good stab at it tonight.
well, that's what I would call it too, a stab.
Listen, Kris, it's a great honour for me to be talking to a distinguished Rhodes scholar from Oxford University.
You wouldn't put me on, would you?
What the hell were you doing at Oxford University?
I was reading English language and literature at Merton College.
That's amazing. That's why they don't normally talk to me, because my English language and literature is a bit different, you know. But that's another story.
Well, that
Your
was another
father-
lifetime, too.
You
for me.
bet, yeah.
That was
Your father was a general in the U.S. Army.
Yeah, in the Air Force.
In the U.S. Army Air Force, it was called in those days. Don't quibble, Christopher.
Also in the Air Force after the Army Air Force.
Let me tell you something. If you had stayed in the Army yourself, where you were an officer, you would now have been a general in Nicaragua.
Well, that's no. I doubt seriously that I would have been a general. I would probably have been a serious alcoholic.
The same thing.
And I also would hope that I would not have been in Nicaragua, because unless I was down there to support the Sandinistas and the Nicaraguan Revolution.
Hey! That's telling them. That's telling them. So the plight of the world and of the people there in Central America, that worries you something?
Well, yes, I think any human being has to be concerned, especially Americans, if we believe in freedom and self-determination. You know, we have to worry about imposing our will on another nations. It's not a very happy subject for a fun show, is it?
No. Let's talk about your music. You've written
Couple
over...
laugh-a-minute guys here, me and Johnny Cash.
You've written over 150 songs recorded by 450 singers across the world. You know what the greatest was? Saved countless lives, including mine. Tell me what your greatest song was.
I thought you were going to tell
You
me.
tell me. Help me make it through the night.
Well, that's been recorded by most people.
That's right. Will you sing it for me? Just a bit from the top.
Take the ribbon from your hair, shake it loose, let it fall, laying soft against my skin, like the shadows on the wall. Come and lay down by my side till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time. Help me make it through the night. Is that enough?
Magic, eh? You could have been a boxer, a pilot, an army officer, a writer. Why did you pick country music as your speciality, Kris?
I think because country music really brought me back to life. When I went to Nashville and ran into people like Johnny Cash and people who I had idolized for years. There was something about their spirit that brought me back into a fascination with living, you know. Country music was so close to the heart and to the soul that it was, I feel like I fell in love with life again. Up to that point, I might have had sort of a not so sublimated death wish. And even a guy with a death wish like this guy could inspire me to be living.
Both of you really diced with death, didn't you?
Well, we held it at arm's distance.
I think we
You held the world record.
We took it to the limit, all right.
Yeah. With you with the little pills and you with the booze. Yeah. Tell me, when did you first get alongside Johnny? Because you actually sent a demo tape to him, didn't you?
Well, I sent several. In fact, every song that I ever wrote, I gave to John. I first met him backstage at the Opry when I was still in uniform. He probably doesn't remember that because he was trying desperately to focus his attention.
You're so kind, thank you.
And after that, I was his janitor at Columbia Records for about a year and a half. And I used to pitch every song that I wrote through June Carter and Luther Perkins as a guitar player. And I think John, I found out years later, would throw them in the lake. I knew he wasn't recording them.
Because you didn't hear
And
them.
so one day, when I was, after I'd known him a couple of years, I was in the National Guard, and I was out flying an old National Guard helicopter, and I took a tape of a song and landed it on his lawn. I figured I was going to make an impression on him. I almost landed on his house, as a matter of fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you a secret. This man cares so much that he's going to do a benefit concert for the victims of that psychopathic lunatic in Hungerford, 16 dead. And Kris here is going to raise cash for the victims. That's marvelous. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to tell you that the big old moon is shining bright tonight because Billie Jo Spears is here with Blanket on the Ground. Knockout, Billie Jo, knockout. My favourite, you know. No, it's not. I tell a lie. I Will Survive is my favourite. Is that your favourite?
No, not really. I think Blanket on the Ground probably because when I first heard the song, I didn't like it. But it didn't take me long to just fall drastically in love with it.
Is that right, yes? You had a strange experience once singing I Will Survive with the funeral going.
I was afraid you were going to ask about that. It was very embarrassing. We were about to close our show, and as we started into, first I was afraid, I was petrified. This funeral procession came by, and I just kind of, it was very embarrassing.
And all the musicians folded up, I guess?
Yes, they just walked off. I was left all alone.
Did you know these two rascals in the earlier days?
I've met John before, a long time ago, and we also did Johnny's television special called Country Girls. But it's been a while since I've seen Kris. I met him at the CMA convention several years ago. It's good to see you guys again.
Thanks.
And they developed well now that they're good and pure and no longer being thrown in.
Yeah, but it's good to see the guys. It really is.
It is. Yeah. Why do so many artists get mixed up in booze and drugs and all the rest of it, Billy? I mean, you've been in the business a long time.
I was going to say, talk to John about that. I don't really know. I shouldn't say that really because I don't know. Maybe they feel like they need some help along the way. You know, I just get high on country music in Peterborough.
That's
I don't
right.
know what else to say.
Have you been there before, Peterborough? Any of you guys been to Peterborough?
No, but we're going.
This is my third time at Peterborough.
Is that right?
Yes, it's marvelous. It's great.
Of course, you had it tough at the beginning, didn't you? You were a waitress and a fender lizard. What's a fender lizard?
Well, they're really called car hops, but the old slang term is a fender lizard.
Oh, they're the girls who come out with food and drink to people in their cars.
Yes,
In
and
that
you dump it in their
great
lap
big rich
from time
country
to
called
time,
America. Yeah. We don't have that kind of money here to have people fetch and carry for us in cars. And was that right at the beginning, Billie Jo? How old were you then?
I was 19.
And you grew up in Texas? The same as, you're also a Texan, aren't you?
Where are you from?
I'm from Beaumont.
I'm from Brownsville.
Brownsville, all right.
Just around the corner from you.
I spent a year there 1 week.
While Texas always strikes me as one of the great centers of country music, does Arkansas, has that got a great tradition of country sounds, Johnny? 'Cause
Well-
you're Arkansas.
Well, a lot of country music entertainers came from Arkansas. Glenn Campbell's from Arkansas. I'm from Arkansas, and one of my favorite actresses from Arkansas, Mary Steenburgen.
Is that right?
Yeah, we grew up about 30 miles apart. Yeah, there's a lot of good people come from Arkansas.
My drummer comes from Arkansas.
My
Is that
boyfriend
right?
comes from Arkansas.
Everybody comes from Arkansas.
Can't be all bad.
What do you do to relax? I heard you got 372 owls. What would you do with 372 owls?
They're not live.
I thought they were live owls.
No.
What do you want stuffed owls for?
Well, I have some. There's a lot of people that are stuffed that are walking around. No, I have about 385 now, but people send these owls to me from all over the world. They're small ones, and I have big ceramic owls. And then I have some stuffed owls, you know.
Yeah.
And I've got my collection that I keep. They're kind of separate. They all come from Peterborough.
Peterborough stuffed owls.
Absolutely.
A
Well,
world-
they came from
world
my fans
speciality.
there. From the first year I did Peterborough and the second year.
Uh-huh.
And they're all in a collection together.
So they got to know about your certain predilection for owls. As you might say.
Absolutely.
How about you, Chris? How do you relax?
Playing with my kids. I got 6 children. 3 of them are real young now.
Yeah.
And my time with them is so precious that when I'm not on the road, I usually spend it with them.
Yeah. How much of the year are you actually away from home?
I couldn't tell you exactly. It seems like I'm always on the road, either with a film or with music. But I bring them out with me as much as I can.
And of course you, Johnny, your trademark is travelling man, isn't it? Everybody knows you as the travelling man. So do you get much time at home?
Not much, no. Home life is, well, the tour buses come to my house and unload there, so, but we got a big house, so, you know, we'd be comfortable inside. My hobbies are collecting antique Greek and Roman coins. Also fishing in the pond with my boy.
And then you have a big animal reserve right on your doorstep.
Yeah, we have about 50 acres fenced in and exotic animals in there. We've got peacocks, turkeys, deer, antelope, llama, rhea, so the New Zealand bird. We had an ostrich, but the ostrich met me in the road one day when I was taking a walk, and he's 8 feet tall. And he threw his wings up like this and hissed at me. And I walked around him, but when I came back, I had about an 8-foot pole with me in case he was still there. And he was, and he started at me, and I swung the pole, which is exactly what he wanted me to do. He jumped straight up. He jumped straight up and came back down and hit me right here and broke 3 ribs.
That was it.
Yeah. So then, for weeks we had broiled ostrich, fried ostrich.
Yes. Well, now, stand by, nation. A magic moment. These 3 giants are going to sing for us together. And it's that wonderful gospel song. I saw the light.
That's great. greatest thing I ever heard in my life.
That's all we need on this show, a live ostrich.
Oh, John, that's great.
It wasn't great at the time.
Praise the Lord, I saw the light.